Beautiful people, if this was prime Adesanya versus prime Pyfer, the best Adesanya versus the best Pyfer, this fight wouldn't be really close. Not just because Adesanya is simply a better fighter, but because Adesanya is simply the greatest middleweight to ever do it. To ever do it. No, not Anderson Silva. Anderson was caught taking PEDs many times. So make no mistake, Adesanya is and forever will be, things might change over time, but for the time being, he's the GOAT at middleweight. But 3-fight losing streak, hasn't won a fight in 3 years, beautiful people. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? And even losing 4 of his last 5. Adesanya has lost 4 of his last 5, which is absolutely crazy. As I'm saying it now, I can't even believe it. Adesanya, you can definitely make the case that he's way past his prime. Not because physically he's not there, or mentally. The man is still sharp, powerful, accurate. But I just believe that final Pereira fight took everything, took every ounce of energy from him and every single ounce of his soul for him to win that fight. And let's not forget, he was losing that fight. He was getting absolutely dominated. He barely touched Pereira before the knockout. Pereira was this close to finishing Adesanya again. And it's not that he's losing, but the way that he's been losing, I fear for him in this Joe Pyfer fight. When you talk about the 3-fight losing streak, first loss to Strickland by decision, then to Dricus 4th round submission, then to Imavov 2nd round knockout. It's like he's losing in a worse fashion every single time. What will happen this fight? And he's not fighting your average Joe. He's not fighting just, a B-level grappler. He's fighting one of the heaviest hitters in the history of the UFC, Joe Pyfer. Joe Pyfer is young, strong, powerful, and definitely more determined and way hungrier than Adesanya. And listen, beautiful people, not just that. When have we ever seen Joe Pyfer hurt? When have we ever seen him take a single step back? And he did fight some punchers, Kelvin Gastelum, Andre Magbarrio. Now, like I said, even Abus, he got power. But I'll say it again, beautiful people. The best Adesanya beats Joe Pyfer. He keeps him on the outside and keeps on countering him until Pyfer makes a bigger mistake and finishes him, or even beats him by decision. But this fight, you can definitely make the case that it's the perfect timing, absolutely perfect time for Pyfer to not just beat Adesanya, but to knock him out. Now, let me tell you how can Pyfer win this fight. Well, it is simple, beautiful people. Pressure, mix things up with the wrestling, and then go up top with that vicious and violent overhand right. Now, he's going to have to get through some landmines in the form of Adesanya's leg kicks. He is still one of the best kickers in the division. Goes low, body, and then high. And his feints, Adesanya's got one of the best feints in the history of the sport. So make no mistake, this will not be an easy fight for Pyfer unless he just blitzes Adesanya early. He's going to have to get through some difficulties, because Adesanya, he's the master, at setting things up, feinting, switching stances. But when you talk about switching stances, I believe that Adesanya switches stances way too much, which is why he's been getting caught a lot in his last few fights. Adesanya, yes, he's better from the orthodox position. But from the southpaw position, he's trickier to most people, because nobody likes to fight a southpaw. But the defense, beautiful people, the defense hasn't been the best from either stance, from both stances. Adesanya has been getting caught flush in his past few fights. So Pyfer, he's gonna pressure Adesanya, put him up against the cage, try to take him down, probably, he probably can take him down, even though Adesanya got unbelievably strong hips. But then, as he starts to chain things together, Adesanya will be anticipating the takedown. Pyfer will go upstairs and knock out Adesanya. That's Pyfer's game plan. Now, Adesanya's game plan, I believe he should hold the center of the cage. He should get respect from Joe Pyfer. Pyfer is young, ambitious, powerful, and listen, he got all the momentum in the world on his side. So Adesanya gotta get his respect early. Because if he doesn't get his respect, Pyfer's gonna run him over. Now, this is such a tough fight to call, is because like I said, Prime versus Prime, they're best against each other. I pick Adesanya over anyone except Pereira. It's because Pereira matches Adesanya with everything. The striking pedigree, the length of his arms, legs, the chin, more power, more listen. But you can't compare Pyfer to Pereira. You can't. So this is what I'm going to say about this fight. If Israel Adesanya shows up, you can always, every great fighter got one last great performance. And if Adesanya can turn back the clock just for one night, not even one night, for less than 25 minutes, he beats Pyfer by decision. That's what I believe. But if Adesanya shows up, still skilled, still sharp, but has those mental lapses, Pyfer will not just beat him. No. Joe Pyfer will knock out Israel Adesanya. But which scenario will happen, I have no idea. And that is why I will be tuning in Saturday night or Sunday morning here to see what will happen, is because this fight is so unpredictable. Pyfer should win this fight. Pyfer, the UFC are setting him up to win this fight. But Adesanya is better. But was better. Past tense. But can he bring it back? Just one more time? I'm not gonna lie. I will be rooting for the last style bender. The man is an absolute legend. He gave us some legendary nights. He gave us some unforgettable moments. But it just might very well be the young guns' time to shine. I'm kind of hoping that's not the case, but we're about to find out.